Uh, you're right, Belmont. I won't go live early. Hello everyone. It's been a day. I just kind of wanted it to be over. Okay, so it was both a good day and a bad day. It was a good day because I've got a new phone. I got a iPhone 15 Pro. Now, before you say, "Oh, the 16 is coming out soon," I know that. I didn't have to pay for this phone. Well, I kind of did. I had to pay for the taxes, but I'm switching to AT&T from Verizon. So it's kind of included. I don't know. It's just a way for me to get a new phone. So anyways, I'm liking it so far, I guess. It was a bad day because the reason I'm switching to AT&T is because a GoNetspeed fiber guy came to my house like last week. And so I signed up for GoNetspeed. I already had fiber. I had Frontier. I had 1 gig fiber, symmetrical fiber, but now I have 2 gig fiber. It was the same price, so it wasn't really a deal or anything on that front. But the deal was with the phone. So yeah, I'm excited because I think the camera is better. I tried to put it in 4K 60 like webcam mode, but it doesn't seem, it lags a little bit. So this is 1080p still, but that's right. So the worst part about switching to GoNetspeed is they gave me a new modem, or not a new modem. It's technically not a modem. If you have fiber, it's called an ONT, an optical network termination or terminal or something. I got a new router, and it's not a mesh router. It's a Nokia router. But that's fine for the most part. I use wired, Ethernet in my room. The downside is, for some reason, and I don't know why any residential router company would do this, but it's set to the wrong, or somehow it's set to the wrong subnet. So I don't know if you guys know anything about subnet masks. Yeah, Verizon is, well, okay, so AT&T is marginally cheaper. So it's like I'll save about $15 or $20, but I get unlimited data. I didn't get unlimited data before. Plus, I got a new phone. So, the subnet is incorrect. I don't know if you guys know anything about subnets. Here, I'll show you vaguely. I did computer networking for my undergrad. So we're gonna have a small network session here, network learning session. So if you pull up. This is something that everybody should know. If you don't know this about networking, you should know this because it's pretty vital to troubleshoot issues like I was having. So the guy came, he installed the new ONT, basically was the same ONT, but he also installed the new Nokia router, and everything was connected to my wired network, and he was like, okay, you're all set now. So I go to my computer, and the computer was not able to connect to the internet, even though everything was plugged in and nothing changed really. So if you go to your command prompt and you type in ipconfig, okay, the IP address here is, I think most nerds probably know this at this point. The IP address here is a private network address, okay? This computer is using the computer that I'm streaming from is using DHCP, or Dynamic Host Control Protocol, which means that when it connects to the network, it asks the router for an IP address. It says, hey, router, give me the next available IP address, and then the router has like a range that it can hand out IPs from. But the IP address is not the only part, or the IP address is not enough information to tell you all the information. Well, you need more than just the IP address to know how your network is configured. So the other part of that is called the subnet mask. And without doing hexadecimal to decimal conversion math, which we're going to save that for another day. You're rocking an iPhone. Oh, I came from an iPhone 12, so I went a big, 4 years or so. So I, hopefully. So this is, so there's two forms of subnet mask. Sometimes you see it in this decimal format. Sometimes you see it in CIDR or CEDR notation, which is the /24. That's how many bits of the IP address dictate the subnet mask. Okay, so what does that mean? So in this case, most of the time, commercial or residential routers, they make it really easy. 255, 255, 255. If you know anything about like RGB color values, you know that 255 is the highest. What is it, like what? 4 bits? 4-bit value? I don't know. It's been a really long time since I've thought about this. But this basically means 1. 255 means like maximum. Okay? So 255 is maximum, the first segment. 255, the next 255 is the second segment, and the third one is the third segment. That means that entire portion of your IP address is your subnet. Okay, so this is the subnet mask allows you to like figure out what part of your IP address is your subnet. Okay, so with that being said, now you can figure, okay, this means, okay, this octal or whatever they call it, this octal and this one, those are your subnets. So that means that for my IPv4 address, my IP address, 192.168.18 is my subnet. Why is that important? Okay, that's important because if you have a computer that's connected, maybe it has a static IP address, maybe you have it configured so it always is one IP address, okay? Or sometimes like if DHCP isn't working, or maybe like right away, sometimes DHCP doesn't know, hey, I'm on a different network now. I need to, release the IP address I used to have and check for a new one, check the router for a new one. It may not do that right away. And so that's what was the problem with all of my computers, basically my house, was they were on the wrong, the last router that I had, actually the last router that I had the same problem. For some reason, the router was in a different, so like maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, everyone probably got the subnet, 192.168.1. Okay, that was it's a very popular subnet because it's like the first one, kind of, right? The last router that I had, the fiber one that I had, it came set to .4, so 192.168.4, which is a different subnet. So that would mean that if you tried to, connect to a computer that was on the wrong subnet, a different subnet, you would not be able to connect to the internet or any of the traffic on that network, even if it was physically connected to the same switch. Okay, sometimes you can get fancy switches that do inter subnet routing or subnet to subnet routing, which they do allow two subnets to talk on the same or communicate with each other, but that's a fancy thing. Normally they're kind of blocked from talking to each other. So I found out that this new router is set to 192.168.18, which is different than 4. So everything in my whole entire house is set to, I had to reset it up last time I got a new router for whatever reason. I don't know why the router manufacturer did this. I had to set I have all my Google Homes. I have Nest thermostat. I have my Nest smoke alarms. I have a bunch of TP-Link Casa smart outlets to control basically my stream. My freaking LED thing behind me is disconnected right now from the internet, so I can't even turn it on because I have a new thing. Right, so basically the easiest thing is probably to reboot. You could do something called I don't want to do it now because I'm streaming, but you could type ipconfig space / release and then ipconfig / space renew, and that will give you a fresh IP. So yeah, my Unraid server I had to switch over because that was set to manual, and yeah, it's just a big nightmare. So like everything in my house is kind of disconnected, and I'm like barely functional. Okay, so it's annoying. I don't know why they. Not only that, I don't think it's a Nokia router, and I don't think they allow you to change the subnet that the router is on. I don't think the router's subnet should not matter whatsoever. Right? Like there's nothing that says, boot up in this random subnet. It's very strange that it boots into 192.168.18. So the Nokia router does not allow me to change it. Actually, you know what's funny? There's some kind of like a web, normally routers have like a login. So you log in to your router and you can configure some settings like, your Wi-Fi password, whatever. It allows you to see what the IP address is for basically what it's the default gateway address, right? Which is the IP address that the router is connected is allowing to be open on your local network, right? That kind of dictates, hey, this is the subnet that the network is, right? I don't know why it's set to 192.168.18. That just seems crazy to me. Maybe I'm wrong, and it doesn't allow you to change it back to 1. Actually, I looked up a video and somebody said, because there's like a form in the admin panel, there's a little form and it's just disabled. Like all the inputs are disabled. You can see it, and there's a save button too, and it's disabled. So there is a way. I guess you'd have to call Nokia and get this like super user login password that enables you to configure it, which is different than the normal like admin password. But I ain't doing all that. The other thing that they said that you could do is actually, if you manipulate the HTML on the form, you can actually like go into Chrome DevTools, remove the disable element from the HTML form, and you can actually make it save the form that way. So I might do that. That's why I haven't reset up everything, because I think I'm gonna have to reset it up again. But I want to change the IP address, the subnet back to something normal. Probably at this point 192.168.1, because why not? Like, why have something else beside that? Get Ubiquity. So that's the other thing, is the Nokia router that they gave me is not a mesh. I mean, I guess it is a mesh router, but first of all, I can't find any information about it. It's this like beacon, Nokia beacon or something, but I can't Google that. It's a Beacon 10, so it's like this really nice router, but it's not, I don't know, can't find any information about it. And they only gave me one, whereas the last one I had before that was this Eero. I don't know what that brand is, but was it Google? No, I don't know. Like Amazon or whatever, Amazon brand. And that was a mesh router. So I had a mesh router below me here, and actually one was on the other side of my house. So I have to figure out what to do. If I was going to get a Ubiquity, I probably would keep the Nokia router as a router, but just disable the Wi-Fi, and then just get 2 Ubiquity access points. One on the other side of the house and one downstairs. I probably would do that instead, because that's just cheaper. I can't, I don't know, it's fine. So anyways, I have 2 gig now for zero reason. The only computer in my house that has a 2.5 gig NIC is my Unraid server. So you hate ISP routers. Yeah, well, I mean, as soon as you get into multi-gig, you're talking about spending hundreds of dollars, if not more, maybe $1,000 on a multi-gig specific router. I mean, maybe like $500, because it's not, unless you're going to build a computer, which computers nowadays aren't really. Okay, all right, enough with that. We're going to move on from that. I do want to show you, before we get into the actual topic, the Consoles4You GBA consolizer. I want to share what I bought at RetroWorld. So RetroWorld is fun. If you haven't seen any of my panel recordings, you should go to after this, you should check out go to the video section of my YouTube channel, and you should see the 3 panels that I recorded from RetroWorld. So unfortunately, I didn't get great audio, but it's listenable, I think. So the 2 main things that I got, I actually I did not realize this until I got home, and somebody on Twitter told me that it was fake. I have a fake Wii Pro controller, because it doesn't have the Nintendo logo and it doesn't have any details on the back here. The real ones would have the Nintendo logo and it would have stuff on the back. So that's a rip me. I bought a fake Wii controller for $20. That sucks. I ended up getting another GameBoy Advance also, and a Genesis Model 2, which I'm trying to earmark for the Sega Neptune. I hope it's a compatible model. I haven't even opened it up yet. But the 2 cool things. Hey, JD Silva. Dream Machine Pro is about $500. Yep. Has SFP ports. Yeah, so then you're talking about more money, spending more money on you know, SFP to copper connector. I don't know. It's just more complicated once you get into that. Okay, so let's see. Is my camera gonna behave here? Of course it won't. Why would it? I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I'm a Debbie Downer over here. Deborah Downer. You good here? Yeah. Okay. So the two cool things that I bought were the Hori N64 controller and a Hori GameCube controller. Now, I didn't pay $65. I paid $60 each for both of these, or 60 and 60, so 120 total, which is probably over eBay prices, but it's fine. So I'll give like a 2-second review. This is sick. This is absolutely awesome, and this is why I made that tweet. If you look at the gate shape, it looks like a GameCube style stick. It's not. It's actually bigger. This, you know, here's the GameCube stick is smaller for sure, but it looks just like it, but just huge. But the gate shape is like an N64 controller. It has this, like, the wider gate. So this is sick. You wouldn't change it from SFP to copper. You use SFP to the ISP fiber ONT. Maybe. I don't know if the ONT has a SFP port. But then I don't have... Oh, you're saying it has an SFP port for the fiber. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the ONT. Yeah. So it's cool. I really like it. It's very crisp. The buttons, the N64 mini pad, I think. I mean, it's called the Hori Pad Mini 64. You probably have seen reviews of this. Super admin is unique to your device. Yeah, I think I'd have to call Nokia support and get it figured out. This feels basically exactly like a real N64 controller as far as the button quality, right? So the C pad or the C buttons feel good, A and B buttons feel good, start is whatever. D pad, I don't know. D pad is probably personal taste. I would have to like do a side-by-side comparison. The C stick is cool. It feels good, or the thumbstick, I mean, feels good. I think that the probably the worst part is the triggers. I don't understand why they didn't make bigger triggers, but it is what it is. But you know, it's nice, and I wanted to have one because I know a lot of, or like there's some controllers that have come out now that are like the what is it called, the not the Admiral, is the Admiral one, the, I don't know, it doesn't, somebody makes this is Retrobit, let me see. Retrobit N64. Yeah, the Tribute. The Tribute 64 is designed after this controller, but it's bigger. The Tribute is actually bigger than this controller is. So, anyways, I figured I would get the original one just to be able to, because this is what the Tribute is based off of, just so that I could have, like, you know, a frame of reference. Yeah. So. Sorry, I meant this is what I meant. The Tribute. The Brawler is nothing like it. The Brawler is no. I'm not a fan of the Brawler. I think you guys are talking about this. The yeah, the Brawler 64. No. Not where it's at. It's just not. It's not even the same. It's not even the same. I'm sorry. Like I appreciate Retro Fighters, but this. This controller ain't it, unfortunately. So, put that back. I mean, I don't mind. I like the N64, the OEM controller, so it's fine. But I just, you know, it's nice to have that. So then, let's talk about this. This is garbage. It literally looks bad. It looks cheap. Like, I know Hori also makes the. I hope this isn't a fake controller too. That made me mad. Hori also makes that like SNES looking pad for the GameCube, but this is not that. So here is it kind of side by side. So it is whack. It's not really the same shape as the GameCube controller, right? It's loosely based off of the GameCube controller. If you were like took the GameCube controller, I mean the C-stick is, or the thumbstick is, well actually it feels weird. The thumbstick feels weird. The C-stick is just wacky. It's the wrong color. It just looks not as good. I don't know if you guys can notice that the colors of the buttons are off as well. It doesn't feel good. Like these face buttons don't feel well. Yeah, they don't feel as good. The face buttons, and the triggers are terrible. Well, actually, now that I feel it again, I don't know. I just didn't. Maybe it's fine. I'd have to actually play with it. It's just, I suppose it was they probably made it for people that wanted a bigger controller than the GameCube controller, because the GameCube, you know, people could argue that the GameCube controller is small, whereas this is kind of like, it's like wide. They did make it's wider. So I guess if you have, I don't know. I'm looking for a reason to complain about it. I guess it's probably fine. I haven't actually used it yet. But I have it. So, and then they kind of like, it just doesn't look like, they cheaped out on this part too. It doesn't look as official as the other one did. They just used this, instead, this one is actually etched, or in the mold was the Hori logo and the Nintendo logo and stuff. Whereas this was just a decal on the top. All the HoriPad fans are gonna rage. Yeah, maybe, but like, this is trash. Like, I know that they also make the GameCube, the Super Nintendo style thing too, so maybe someday I'll get that as well. I guess it's probably fine. I just, it doesn't have the same quality, like, feel as this does. Like, this looks like it could be a real, something that Nintendo would have made, but this is like, I don't know. Even the color of the plastic, like, what was this even supposed to be? What color was this supposed to be? They had other worse ones. They have like a weird camo. All right, well, that's what I really got. I didn't get, well, I got a Genesis, I suppose, to start making the Neptune when that comes out, but I didn't get really any of the things that I wanted. There was no loose Game Boy players, indigo colored Game Boy players. I don't know. Okay, so I'm done trashing controllers. Okay, all right. Let's talk about this. The Game Boy Advance HD again. So I have quite a few Game Boy consolizer. So don't rage at me. This is going to be probably a two-parter, maybe even three. I don't know. So I guess before we get involved, because this is gonna be a little mini history lesson, right, about Game Boy Advance consolizer things. Refurbing the OG N64 controller is hit and miss. Yeah, I agree. You'd have to find one. In my opinion, you have to find one that's like already good quality from the get-go. You could do a lot with cleaning up an OEM controller, and I don't even hate the kitch bent sticks if you do the prep, the little bit of prep work that you need to do, which is not a lot. It's just, you've got to do that, and then it's fine, right? I'm not unhappy with my kitch bent fixed ones, because I have some clapped out N64 sticks. So where I get the Spartan Edge board? Well, Consoles4You gave me one. I also have another one. Actually, it makes me sad. I bought it off of I think Postman sold it to me. So I have one that I think Postman sent it to me. So that's makes me sad. But I have two. But Consoles4You gave me one as well, or gave me a second one, if that makes sense. I also wanted to mention that sometime soon, I don't really know what to call this. Like the transition back to making YouTube videos, I guess. I want to go back to making some videos. And it's like I'm rusty, I have the idea. You guys know I've talked about it, and I've kind of shared some details about the wireless Xbox controller kind of shootout, I suppose. So I need time. I may I may stop streaming just to get that video done. Yeah, it's hard. I don't have a ton of time nowadays to do it. But yeah. So if you see me not streaming as often coming soon, don't think that I'm not making content anymore. I'm gonna make focused videos about things. I hope. I don't know. We're just gonna send it. And I hope you guys can appreciate that. It does take a lot of work to make these things. And I can't really do both, stream and yeah, do that. So, all right, enough of that. So, just a heads up, if I stop making streams after this, probably you'll know what you'll know. Yeah, the Rocker gaming sticks. Yeah, the only problem is they're like $50 a set. Yeah, if the housing is off, there's no fix. Especially the top housing. The bottom housing you can replace, but yeah, the top, the gate of the N64 is pretty crucial to how well it plays. Yeah, true. So that's all I want to say. All right, so let me get some of my consolizers out, and we'll talk about them. I'll get all of them out, I guess, and we'll talk about. So the whole name of Game Boy Advance consolizer came from the original Game Boy Advance consolizer from Woozle. Okay, so Woozle, who is now part of PixelFX, coined the term consolizer. Actually, I think he might have been the first person to use the name consolizer. So basically, this is his initial design. I think this is actually a slightly updated case that LaserBear designed. But this was the first consolizer that I built, was this one. Basically, so it uses a Game Boy Advance motherboard, right? So you don't have to remove the motherboard of a Game Boy, or you don't have to remove the CPU or anything off of a motherboard. You have to use the whole motherboard. And there is a board underneath here that has like an FPGA and stuff, and that's how you get the HDMI output out there. And there's a headphone jack, I guess, too, and the power. So this is a pretty old. This is the first, as far as, well, one of the first. Well, Woozle definitely coined the term, I think, consolizer. But yeah, I sent you a script, which might work. Oh, okay. All right, I'll figure it out. I'll look at the script for the router. So this is my first one that I've got, at least. But then actually, they redesigned it. At least the case too. The case was needed less hardware for the case, and I think they changed the internal. I don't know, the PCB. You can't really see into it as well. This one. So I have both. The version 1, I suppose. Well, this is like maybe version 1.5, because there was an older one that had a different case design. But this is like the version 2 consolizer. So I have one of both of those. Okay. Then the second consolizer that I heard about was this open source GBA HD project that Zwenergy made. And actually, there's two forms of this as well. This one is the one that uses a Game Boy Advance SP board. But it's based off of, thankfully I have the parts kind of, some parts lying around here so I can kind of show you. There's actually 3 boards inside of this, whereas there's only 2 in this, okay? There's 2 boards, the Game Boy Advance motherboard and FPGA kind of board. In this, the Game Boy Advance HD, there's actually 3, okay? So there's the Game Boy Advance SP motherboard, which you can't really see, but that's where like the cart slot is. Obviously, it's still attached to that. Hey, Artemis. If I edit all the Ashita upgrades, yeah, that's a good idea. So then, the actual FPGA of the GBA HD is this Spartan Edge accelerator board, which has a Spartan 7 Xilinx FPGA. Okay, so this is like a dev board that's pretty hard to find now, actually. This is the one I got from Postman. It's just an FPGA dev board, okay? But as you can see, it sort of has the form factor of, this is an Arduino. It sort of has the form factor of an Arduino, okay? So then there are ManCloud. So Zwenergy developed the code for the FPGA for the original GBA HD. So that's why Zwenergy is sort of one of the OGs when it comes to, well, at least with the open source nature of Game Boy Advance GBA HD. ManCloud is another name that you might have heard. ManCloud designed this this Shield PCB. Okay, the Shield basically does the interface with the Game Boy Advance motherboard. Okay, so that's where some of these flex cable connectors go, and it also interfaces obviously with the Spartan board. Okay, so it fits in here sort of like that. Okay, so this is kind of like, this gets headered together, right? But it also has this little microcontroller that translates the Super Nintendo controller port to the inputs of the Game Boy Advance. So these two things kind of make the Game Boy GBA HD special. Okay, the original GBA HD. That's what I have with this small form factor guy. I have, now this is kind of a side note, this is not really related to the GBA HD project, but I also have a GBAHD Advance, which is the GameBox, a GameBox GBA HD consolizer. Okay, so I'm really glad that I have this, because this was the first thing that Postman and GameBox had sent me to like review, I suppose. So I'm really happy that I have this, because it really means a lot to me. Yeah, I don't know. Just having a physical thing that I knew that they worked on is kind of special. I also have the Intech Gaming one, but we won't talk about that. But it's kind of neat. It has some interesting features. It does have the Super Nintendo port. It has a giant full-size HDMI port, but yeah. So, but other than that, it's kind of unnoteworthy. So I'm going to put those ones back, because those are kind of irrelevant to GBA HD. I guess I could put the Woozle ones back too. So that's my collection of GBA consolizers. I just made a GBA HD, and it was pretty simple. Install minus soldering the CPU and RAM. Interesting. So that's the original design of the GBA HD, is to use 3 boards, right? The Shield, the Spartan board, and a third, the Game Boy Advance motherboard. Then somebody came along. Who was the original person to build this? Let's see if I can find it. There was another project that came afterwards that was this GBA HD AIO, or all-in-one. Zekfu. I believe Zekfu was the first person that designed this. And where is it? I had planned to make one, and I actually have the case printed out somewhere. I'm not sure where it is at the moment, but someday I will build one of these too. But this is the first all-in-one GBA HD. Okay, what makes it all-in-one is not the fact that it's all on a single board. It's still 2 boards. It still uses the Spartan board, I believe, right? Let's see. Yeah, Spartan Edge Accelerator. So basically, this is still a Spartan Edge Accelerator Shield. But what makes it all-in-one is that you have to desolder. Well, yeah, you desolder the CPU and the RAM from a Game Boy Advance motherboard, and you stick it on this thing. So basically, this thing acts like it cuts down on one entire board, and that the board that you're cutting down on is the original Game Boy Advance motherboard. So now you're just left with 2 boards, which is the Shield. But now the Shield, instead of being tiny like this, the Shield is huge. It actually has everything else that you need to run the the Game Boy, right? And then you need the Spartan board, so you still need one of these. So eventually, I will build one of these, because this is kind of the first all-in-one board. Now, since this board has come out, there have been a few other Consoles4You. I think they had other versions of this Upcycle Shield. Okay, this is their older Upcycle Shield. Okay, I believe. But this is dependent on the type of Game Boy Advance board that you want to get. Okay, so you have to know. Okay, this is the one that you have to get to use the original Game Boy Advance CPU, because there's the CPUs have different shapes, different pinouts between the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP. So there have been other versions of this sort of all-in-one Game Boy Advance HD. So what makes this special then? What makes this special? The GBA HD that I have from Consoles4You. Okay, what makes this special? Oh God, I can't see the title of the video. I don't know what to title this video. This is a universal kit. So basically, you can buy a single kit. It comes with this PCB. Okay. So we have to take some parts off of a Game Boy Advance. I think I'm going to use this rather beat up SP. Okay, so the case is kind of busted up. The screen is probably it's not like broken or anything as far as I know. Actually, I don't even know if this turns on. I probably should test that. But it has no battery cover, so it's in pretty rough shape. But we'll need some things from that Game Boy Advance SP in a second. Okay, so we're gonna need, I think, 3 things. We need the cart slot. Okay, obviously here, the cart slot. And then, oh, it's just a universal upcycle. Okay, so upcycle meaning you're turning an old Game Boy into a consolizer. I think that's what that part of it means. What's neat is, so here's where the RAM goes, and I think that means that the RAM, oh no, look, it has 2 different spacings. See, like there's a smaller RAM and a wider RAM. That's neat. Maybe the different Game Boys have 2 different sizes of RAM, or maybe there are 2 different flavors for, I'm not sure about that. We're gonna find that out. But this series of 3 connectors here is the other interesting part. And let me get the other accoutrement. Okay, so there's another little baggie. I have a little box that has a whole bunch of stuff in it. Right, so I have all these little parts in here. Oh, look at that, we have a new cart slot. Okay, so never mind, maybe we don't have the pilfer one. So that's interesting. I guess we literally just need the CPU and the memory. So that's fine. But let's open this little baggie. Oh, the two choke filters is what is recycled. Oh, okay. Neat. So there's another thing that I didn't know. Oh, I think that's probably what's up here. These 2 little these pads over here that are not populated. I think maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't really look into it that far. Kit comes with the cart connector. So here's the goodies of this kit. It actually has these little I guess they're like little interposers for the 2 different CPUs. So you buy a single kit, right? And you can use the CPU from either, and it says on here, right? So this one is for the GBA SP CPU, okay? So that's this one. Or you use just the GBA CPU, right? So you can choose either one, whatever one that you have available, whatever's the cheapest that you can acquire. And then you just take the interposer after you solder the CPU on the top of it, and you basically plug her in. Maybe I shouldn't mess around with this until I'm ready to plug it in. Anyways, you get the idea. You kind of socket it in there. I'm not going to plug it in all the way because I don't know. I don't want to mess with it. And that allows you to use either one in this. So this is kind of a all-in-one mixed with. It really is an all-in-one kind of, because you can use either type of Game Boy. So that's why this is sort of an interesting situation. Now, it's even more interesting because Consoles4You accidentally forgot to flash the microcontroller on the shield on my unit, right? So if you buy from Consoles4You, you're not going to have to do this, but I'm going to have to do this, which is basically flash the firmware onto the microcontroller of the shield. Okay, so we're going to do that quickly first because they told me to do that first, okay? So we're going to use an Arduino. I hope I can use this one. This is an Adafruit Arduino Uno clone. In the instructions, I'm going to pull up the instructions in a second, but the instructions are going to use an Arduino Micro. But a Micro is basically just a small form factor Arduino Uno. So I should be able to use this. We're going to see. Yeah. We snap it from left first. Okay, interesting. So we'll get there. But first I've got to do this. But I guess I just wanted you to know that you will not have to flash the shield. It should come pre-flashed. You won't have to do this step, but unfortunately I have to do this step. So I have to like mix some instructions between. I'm gonna use the ManCloud or the GBAHD Shield GitHub. So I'm gonna go over here and pull those instructions up. So we got GBAHD Shield GitHub. Okay, so this is ManCloud's GitHub page, I think. Did they move it to GBAHD? Oh. Well, ManCloud, I don't know how this, maybe this got hoovered up somewhere, or maybe somebody tidied it up, but there's a wiki page for the GBAHD Shield, which, again, it's this part. The shield is this part, not the Zwenergy FPGA part, okay? I think we're also going to have to flash that too, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So if we go to the GitHub here, on the right side there is a part of this manual that says program the GBAHD Shield. Again, disclaimer, you guys are not going to have to do this, okay? I have to do this because Consoles4You accidentally forgot to do this before they sent me the shield. So just, yeah. So this is what we've got to do, okay? So it says here I need to use an Arduino Nano, but I think the Nano is the same as an Uno, so we're gonna full send and see if we can do this. What I need to do is we have to upload a sketch to this. So I have to. Do I have the Arduino IDE? Arduino IDE. I do. Okay. So I've got the Arduino IDE. Okay. I'm gonna get some more some water here. I should have got some water before. You guys can hear my sink. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Where was I? I think if I just plug in the Arduino, that should get things working or rolling too. Let's see. Does it know anything? Well, we'll let that stew for a minute. Maybe do I have to hit the reset button or something? I thought I had a real Arduino somewhere too. This is the Arduino that I used for this is the Arduino I used for doing my auto switcher stuff. Okay, so let's see. Does it know anything about this thing now? No, doesn't really know anything about this. Okay, well, we'll go to there. Let's download the sketch that we need. So I believe Consoles4You said I have to use his specific sketch. Okay. There is a sketch in the Arduino IDE containing this. Okay, so that, I need this. I think I might need to download AVR Dudes too, which is the greatest name for a file deleted. Oh, here we go. Which AppMega is this for? Okay, the AppMega 168p. Okay, so this is the one I want. This is what we're gonna have to, this is what we're ultimately going to flash to the shield, but we have to do it by way of the Arduino. Going to flash on stream? Yes, I am gonna flash on stream. Now we've got to figure out what the heck is happening. Why isn't this Arduinoing? AVR boards, Arduino Uno. We're gonna have to do this thing, aren't we? Wait, is USB settings? No. I think if we go to the device manager, this will tell us what COM port we're using for that thing. Is it COM 7? Okay. Yep. Our Arduino is COM 7. Okay. Got it. Okay, so we were on COM 7. Bingo. Now, we don't need this sketch. This sketch can go bye-bye. Okay, we got to find the sketch now, which I believe is going to be on... Where's the... Where did my GitHub page go? Here it is. Okay. Okay, so we need to find where is the okay, the shield needs the firmware. Okay, fine. There's an Arduino sketch. Where is the Arduino sketch? Is that also in the... firmware? Yeah, it wasn't. They had just received Benner's asking why my shield wasn't flashed. Consoles4You had just received their batch of these populated from wherever they get them from, and they immediately shipped it out to me to kind of hype up this the release of this thing. So yeah, they just forgot to flash it, but that's fine. I've done this before. I just have to remember. I have to remember where the sketch is. The shield needs firmware. Upload the ISP, Arduino ISP sketch. Oh. Is it just called the Arduino ISP sketch? Okay. So if we go to File. Really? What the heck? File, Examples, Arduino ISP. Hey, look at that. So this is what we've got to... We just send this, I guess? Tools, boards. Okay, we want to make sure that it's the right board again. Tools, board, Arduino. Yep. COM 7. Now click upload the sketch. Okay. That's it. I guess we don't have to configure this thing at all. We just YOLO, send it. I have issues with the Arduino showing up on certain ports on my PC too. Well, if you just go to Device Manager and check, and then you go to the COM tab, whatever, Device Manager, and then you see how many things you've got there, and then you unplug it and then plug it back, or unplug it, you should see which port went away. Okay, so is it going? Is it done already? Can't really tell. Did it do a thing? Upload. Oh, done compiling, uploading. Done uploading. Okay, wow, that was easy. Okay, so I think that's it. Now, it tells us to unplug this. Now, I need some DuPont connectors. So if we do this, I've got some DuPont connectors floating around, I think in this container. I don't know where the original, my original Arduino Nano went. I think I might have ended up using it for when I built the not the 4-dapper, the triple controller. Okay, so I have this one has too many wires on it. Do I have a smaller one? Oh, no, duh. Look at that. I found it. Hey, there it is. I found the Arduino Nano that I used. Damn it. Well, whatever. Okay, so this might have been the control. Oh no, this has too many, not enough wires. This doesn't have any pin headers. Okay, well, I found the one that I think I used, but the thing is the Arduino Nano that I used has the male headers, so I used this female to male one, so I can't really use that. But that's all right. I can use this other one here, these DuPont connectors. So I need 6 wires from this these male to male, okay? Because I have my Arduino has these female pin headers, and the shield just has vias. And here's the place that you would have to flash the shield. But again, you guys will not have to do that. Okay, so I've got a 6-wire thingamajig. Now let's go back to the chart. There's a chart. It's a chart. Where's our chart here? Okay, so it's kind of a combination of these two, this little picture and this here. So let's plug in the wires first. Okay. So maybe we'll do it here. How do I do this here? Oops. Okay, I think that might be helpful. Okay, so I'm just going to chill out over here. Okay, so like I said, the pinouts are the same, kind of, between this and the picture here, okay? So if you look at the top left of the picture here, these 3 black arrows here, you see D12, D11, and D10. But if you look at the bottom here, it also says D13. So D13, 12, 11, and 10 are actually all on the top side of the Arduino here. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug in. So that's 13, 12, 11, and 10. Okay. Then I also need 3 volts and ground, which are actually on the opposite side. Well, there's a ground over here, but we can use the 3 volts and ground from over here. So I'm going to use the red is 3 volts. Actually, whatever. 3 volts can be, well, no, never mind. 3 volts will be red, and ground will be orange. Okay, neat. So that's this end, okay? So like I said, it's not plugged in yet. Now the other end, this end, I gotta connect this to the shield, those ports on the shield. So let me get a thingamajig to kind of balance the shield, because these things are gonna have to stick through the board here. Now, the little tiny picture below the red picture there is how the pinout of how we connect this to the shield, which is kind of it's kind of all over the place. So I'm just gonna separate these wires a bit. Okay, so I guess I'll start with. So let me hold it. It's gonna be kind of not the right orientation. Well, I'm going off of. There's like a box in the top left pin there. I'm kind of orienting that to the picture, which is not really helping me. Okay, that works better. Okay, so that is D12, which for me is the blue wire. The top, and I'm just literally gonna. Oh no, this is not gonna work well, is it? Well, hopefully it'll have more tension when I get more wires in there. So I'm literally just gonna put that thing in there like that. I'm not gonna do anything beside that. Okay, so now I need 3 volts. 3 volts goes beside it, right there. Then I need D13, which for me is purple. Okay, 13. Then beside that is 11, which for me is green. Okay, then I have D10, which is the yellow. And ground, which is orange. Nice. Okay, so these spiky guys are just kind of spiking it in there. Okay, they're not really soldered or anything. That should hopefully be enough kind of tension to push themselves to make contact. Okay, so that while we're programming it, it's going to program and not program. If that makes sense. I think this should work. Hopefully it doesn't like brick it. Okay, so now, so it says not to program it while the Spartan is plugged in. Okay. We don't need a breadboard. Okay, so here's where we're going to divert a little bit from ManCloud's diagram. So we need to download this AVR Dudes program. Where is this AVR Dudes? We gotta download that. Okay, so we need to download AVR Dudes. That's a whole lot of shit. Hey, you must be new around here. We send it. Okay. So we gotta install AVR Dudes. Sorry, I have to keep dragging each window because this window is not the main window. Okay. So now just keep in mind that we've got AVR Dudes, but I've got a different hex file to flash than the hex file that is in ManCloud's guide, or whoever made that guide, okay? All right, so I've got this. I've got the AVR Dudes is up, okay? Oops, it's gone now. Now is the time when we can plug in. Now we can plug in the Arduino. And actually, you know what? Let me close the Arduino. I'll close the Arduino IDE just in case things get funky. Okay, right. So now the Arduino is acting like the programmer for the shield. Okay, so we have the hex file that we need to. That's the actual binary that we need to flash. I need to look up. Consoles4You sent me some a picture. Oh my god, it's huge. A picture of how the fuses need to be set. And here's what it looks like. So I need to copy this. Can I download this maybe? Let's download this picture so it's not giant. What? What the heck is happening? Rename. Sorry, I don't know why Twitter doesn't let you download PNGs anymore. It just lets you download PNG_small. Okay, so I've got this. Wow, it's tiny. They ain't joking. Can I make this? Oh god, it's gone. Oh, I can make it a little bigger. Okay, great. So that's the hex. That's the settings that I've got to use. Okay. Now I got to pull up AVR Dudes again. Bring it over here. So let's see. Select programmer. And then I need to use atmel avr ISP. Okay. Then I've got to use COM 7. I think that was the COM. I think the baud rate has got to be the same, right? 192 or 192, 19,200. I got this. Now I need to do this hex file that I got from a link from Consoles4You. So I need that hex file. I need to select erase and flash and EEPROM. Okay. Now I've got to select AppMega 168. Can I just type that in? No. AppMega 168. Okay. AppMega 168P. 168P. Got it. Presets. I don't have a preset. Well, that's fine. Okay, so now I need to change these fuses. Okay, so I need to do OXFF, OXDE, OXFA, OX2F. Set fuses. Okay, well, I guess that's it, right? Should I hit maybe detect? See if that works. Detect. Yep, okay, detected it. All right, send it. Let me just look at chat before I do something stupid. Okay, send it. Program. Programming. Woo! Verification mismatch. Error. If you're done, thank you. Well, I don't know if it worked or not. I guess I'm gonna hold it down and hit program again. Oh, did it work? Processing fuse, reading input, verifying fuse. I don't know, you guys probably can't read this well, but it does say, it didn't air out. It does say everything's verified. I don't know, got three fuses, an L fuse, an H fuse, an E fuse. I don't see an LB fuse. I guess that works. Should I just do it one more time for ha-has? I'm holding the shield in my hand now. Let me just see. Verification mismatch. I don't know. It says verification mismatch now, but it didn't before. Maybe we should hit force. It did work one time, so maybe I'm kind of overthinking it. Let's just try it one more time. Let's see force. Can we do force here? Program. Okay, well, YOLO. All right, I guess that's it. I guess now it's flashed, I guess. Yeah, okay. I mean, what's the worst that could happen then is I just have to take it apart and try to reflash it again. Don't know. Okay, I think that's it. I think we can move on to the next part. I guess we should try to dig into desoldering the CPU and memory. That's probably what you guys want to see, right? You guys want to see the money shot. Which I have not prepared at all for this. I'm going to use hot air, I guess. I don't think there's a special way to do this. I hope not. So let's bust open this. It's definitely something. Let's bust open this guy. I think we need to use tri-wing screws for most of this. Let's see, does this fit? Oh, too big. Okay. I think I bought this Game Boy Advance SP at Retro World a different year. I think I actually bought it to build the original Zekfu GBAHD AAO. Preemptive F. Hey, I don't appreciate that. Okay. I forgot how easy it was to take apart an SP. I guess taking apart a normal Game Boy is not that hard either. Okay, so I think I probably want to take the motherboard. Oops, sorry, I was way up there. I think I want to take this motherboard out also, so I don't melt the plastic, just in case I ever wanted to use the plastic in this thing, I guess. I don't know. So there's just a few more screws around this board. Probably should check that it works. You assume so much about me. Do people want to see that? People want to see that it works? It's not too late. Actually, can I just do one of these? Hold on. So I've got this other SP. Case is arguably in worse shape, but the screen is fine. The screen's not scratched that much. It's got a battery. Okay, so we've got a battery. Is it? Oh man, is it bulging a little bit? This battery may not be good anymore. That's right. Okay, so I've got my EverDrive. Well, YOLO. Oh, it's definitely not charged at all. I don't know what I'm thinking. Oh my gosh. How is it charged? Well, it boots. It could be just a bad cart slot. There we go. Well, let me see if I got a real game. Well, how about Metroid Fusion? Charged with leaking acid. Hey, it works. All right, I'm fine with that. Neat. Okay. Must have just, my EverDrive probably wasn't in all the way. Cool. Seems chaos. Oh, I embrace the chaos when it finds me, as long as it helps me and not hurts me. Okay, so let's put this red guy. I don't like how bulgy it is, but that's fine. Just for ha-has, does this one work too? Yeah, seems to work. Yep, nice. Okay, cool. So that's for a future something. Future something. All right. Ah! Okay, so let's just somewhere in here is a yep, the flex cable for the screen. Oh God. I don't know why I'm trying to. Okay. Nice. All right, so here's another Game Boy case for another day, rainy day. Don't know what the heck to use it for, but okay. Kind of nasty, but dirty on the inside, I mean. Okay, so now I have all the little rubber baby buggy bumpers. Okay, that should be everything meltable. Did I get the? No, I didn't get another Super Nintendo. Nope. I didn't even look. I didn't even bother looking. I should have though. At Retro World, I kind of forgot about that actually. Remember when thrift stores when Game Boy Advances were $5 to $10? Yeah, pretty much. You found one. Okay. Hey, yeah, hit me up. Hit me up, Belmont, and then I can hit Voltar up. See if he'll still sell me one. Okay, so these two guys, the CPU and the memory, but then there's something else that we need too, according to someone from earlier. Oh, these guys, I guess, right? EM2 and EM1. Let's look at the. Now we can switch over to the GBAHD Upcycle Shield documentation. Oh, yeah, this, yep. Okay, so let's see. The following parts are also required. Donor, okay, so here's the installation instructions. Let's just hop over there. Oh, look at that. First, remove the CPU, RAM, and EMI filters. We recommend using a GBA or GBA SP that is completely broken to harvest the parts from. Well, this isn't completely broken, but yeah. For the removal, we recommend using a hot air desoldering tool. Okay, that's cool. Set our heat gun to 350 and apply some flux. Using some fine pliers, you put a bit of pressure on the chip so it will lift itself off as soon as the hot air melts the solder. Okay. All right, this is a job for the scope, the microscope. I'll need to turn my overhead light off, I believe. Okay. All right, here's our fun, nope. Here's our fun CPU. I have to break it now. It's in the instructions. Pretty much. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to hit this with some fresh solder pretty much all the way around. So I'm going to turn my soldering iron on, but I want to switch to a knife edge tip. My big honkin' knife edge tip. So I've got, big K-tip. Clean it off. Now I need to get my, for this I do not use liquid flux for this at all. Please spend the whatever money and get some good flux. I mean, I use this VS213, but I don't think this is even the recommended type to get if you're just doing general stuff. I would like to do, I don't know. I know that there's another brand that actually Amtech kind of formed a different company or something, or they have a different company. Anyways, this is what I recommend people use. Just this kind of like tacky, goopy flux. It's definitely worth getting for sure. Okay, hold on a minute. Oh no, did I lose a? Oh, okay, I don't think I lost it. I think there is only one here. Woo! Hold on, I don't know why. The camera and the thing are not lined up. That's fine. I have to fix that another time. The output of the microscope and the camera are not in sync. So like mine's straight up and down, but that's fine. It's a little crooked for you guys, but that's all right. Okay, so let's just goop it. Just goop it. Okay, now I need some flux, or no, solder, I mean. If you can't see through your flux, you can just kind of heat it up. Just gonna kind of put some. Don't really care about bridging. All I'm doing is just getting fresh solder on all the pins, and then just move on to the next side. Okay. You know what's making this harder is that my air conditioner is on. I've got to turn that off before I do the hot air. Okay, and then the last one here. Okay. All right, so that's that. Should we do, I guess we can do everything, right? The EMI filters are on the bottom. Yeah, yep. All right, so let's do the memory. And then we could just do hot air on these two here. Maybe not both at the same time, but let's focus on this side first. There's like a lot of stuff in the way on this board, which is kind of annoying. Cool. Okay. All right, so time to turn the air conditioner off. Okay. And take a drink of water. And now we can try to hot air gun. Let's just check the settings that I'm using. Oh, probably help if I freaking turn it on. I probably should, you know what? I'm gonna add more flux before we start. Also, I need to get my good tweezers. My good tweezers. These little tiny guys. Should be good. Oh no, the tip is bent. What the heck? That's annoying. When did I bend the tip of this? My tip is bent. Well, that's annoying. I'll have to fix that another time. Okay, whatever. Fine. So let's add some more. Let's do the CPU first. Why not? I'm really not concerned about blowing any of the little piece parts around it away. I mean, I guess I obviously I don't want to mess with anything around the edge of it, like these little parts around the edge, but it's fun. Not the evil tweezers. All right, so let's check the temperature. It recommended 350. Okay, so I'm at 350 at 50% air. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, you know what I need to do? Hold that thought. If you've never done this before, hot air makes a lot of smoke usually when you it's the flux that's burning. You should have a you should use a whatever filter, air filter thing. So I have one. I just turned it on. Might be a little loud, but okay. Hot air is turning back up. Can I make this a little higher? There we go. I'm basically gonna go around in circles kind of slowly until I start seeing the solder melt, like become shiny again. Hey. All right. Now we basically have to do the same thing for the memory. So let's add some more. Let's add some more of that flux here. Did I lose anything off the board? I don't think so. I don't have the ideal tweezers for this, but I think I did an okay job. Thankfully the tweezers can kind of like they're pretty thin, so they can get under the chip, and not, you know, you're not really trying to pry it. Whew, hot. Okay, and once the board is sort of hot already, and the other thing to keep in mind if you're going to do this to your SP is don't use your hands, by the way. But the SP motherboard is pretty thin, actually, so you really don't need to you don't need to use much heat because it kind of soaks pretty easily. So now the other things we need are these things, right? These two guys. EM2 and EM1, I'm guessing. Let's see, does it say that? EMI filters, yeah. I'm guessing that that's them. They don't look the same. Okay, as the picture. All right, so I think this is them. I didn't add any hot, fresh solder to them yet. So let's do that. I have another cart. A new cart connector was included in the kit, so I probably could, but I knew it sounds like this one might be giving a hard time anyways. Just with it wasn't really working with the EverDrive. If I probably was careful, I probably could just use my knife edge tip. But hey, well, while the board is probably already hot. Voila. Sweet. Nice. All right. Off goes the fan. Nice. Okay, so I think that's everything that we need from the SP board. There is another cart. Ooh, it's still hot. So just be careful. Yeah. Be careful touching it after you just let it cool down somewhere. Oh, someone's calling me. I gotta check my phone here. Gosh. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. All right. Now what? I guess we have to populate this, the transposer thing. I guess I'm not done with my microscope, but I have the memory. I guess we can do the memory first on the shield here. I didn't look. Let's see. Is there a? Okay, there is a circle. Oh no, there's another circle. Which way is the real circle? I guess that's probably the, okay. Let me get the microscope back. Let's do the memory. Why not? While we're here. Then we'll do the CPU onto the thing, and then the EMI filters. I hope those filters are the same because I've moved them around a bit. Okay, so here's this. Let's see. Let me check the picture. Okay, got it. Is this the right way around? Yeah, I think so. All right, so we have to tack the memory down. Let me switch. I'm going to switch back from my knife edge tip to my chisel tip because I find it a little easier just to tack things down. So let's just get one of these pins. So I've got the longer CPU, or the longer memory, I mean. I can zoom in a little more actually too. Okay, and we can check our alignment. We're probably too far to the right, just a tiny bit. Okay. Now, chisel tip is my go-to for standard soldering, such as soldering pads. Yeah, I just, there's some people that are like, oh, knife edge everything, but yeah, that's a little psychopathic for me. And it has its place. I think it's actually not far enough back. It has its place for sure. Knife everything. That's funny. Okay, let's just try to tack one of these pins down. And then actually we could probably switch back to the knife edge tip. Makes it a little easier to do I found it's a little easier to do the drag soldering. But we could do some of this. Okay, so my goal tonight is going to be to solder the CPU and the memory, and then, well, we'll see. Because then I have to, I'll probably clean this board before I actually, well, we'll see, actually. So now here's where I am concerned about bridges, but, you know, within reason. Can always take care of things. Just keep in mind there's this little capacitor here too. Which probably would be easier if I flip this over. Oh, there's one on this side too. Yeah, this is have a little hard time. Maybe I should turn my iron up. I'm gonna turn the iron up a tiny bit. So normally I solder on 350, but I think it's because of the what is it called when it's gold? The board is gold. Not hassle. What's it called when it's gold? Drag slow, and it'll get every pin perfectly except the end where it bridges some of the pins. Add more solder. Okay. And I'm gonna clean it off. You know what? And I need some more, a little bit more of this, maybe. Okay. Okay, I think the temperature helped a bit. Nice. Oh, Enig is what I was thinking of, yeah. I have enough flux. Yeah, you're probably right. It's all over the place. Okay, so that's good. The stupid capacitor in the way here is annoying. All right, that's that side. So let's go back to this side. Actually, you know what? Because of this cap at the end, I'm going to try to do it like this. You know what? Need that stupid fan back. Use too much flux. It's burning off. Okay. I think that's fine. Just looks like garbage because there's a lot of I use a lot of flux. Cool. Thanks guys for the acknowledgement of how much flux I'm using. Okay, I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's just do the CPU, and then we can sort of verify everything. So I need the CPU. Oh, the problem with the CPU interposer thing is it's kind of tiny. It might be a little wobbly to solder on, but that's right. Okay, so we have the. I didn't mention anything about the orientation with the memory, but there is a mark in the top left corner here, and on the silk screen underneath there was one too. So that's how I knew how to line it up. I kind of always look at the pictures too on the like Consoles4U's photos. Okay, so it sounds like there is also a mark on the CPU as well here. Maybe we can clean off the CPU while we have it exposed. At least the bottom of it, I mean. Cool. Good enough. Get a hot plate. Oh, that's an idea. A stick vise. I do have a little thing. I probably could make it come closer together to do this, but let's see. I think that you're right, Helder. I probably should clean up. You know what? I could just do that with some, hopefully pretty lightly with some solder braid, just to make sure there's no bridges. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's more about making sure that it stays level than making sure that it's clean of solder. Well, actually by poking at it here, it's actually probably bending the pins and making it worse, but that's right. I suppose that's the benefit of the hot plate. Whatever, we find out. We mess around and find out. Okay, cool. So I'm going to guess that that mark is the mark that lines up with that circle here. I'm going to switch back to the chisel tip just so that we can get a pin here. I do have a nice hot plate. I bought the well, not a huge hot plate, but I did buy one of these mini, the MHP 50. So I do have one of these I haven't used yet. So that, you know. Whoops, I just threw it on the floor. I will have to use one of this sometime, but I do have a little mini hot plate. Oops. All right, so now let's try to tin this first. If you get a chance, Google stick vise. I think you'd really like it. Okay. It's a good one and a good size. Yeah, I saw Nelly the Nerd had it, so I had to find out more about it. Okay, so this is kind of awkward because it's like four-way. I'm trying to line up 4 different sides at the same time. Okay, so I think that's lined up-ish. Now let's do the opposite corner. Oh, tin the pads first. Yeah, probably should have. Especially since these are Enig and not Hassel. All right, I think that should be okay. I'm kind of looking down the side now, so like this right side and the left side, the right side and the left side should be tacked down, but the top and bottom are really where you have to make sure that you're still lined up. It doesn't have to be perfect. But, you know, the perfecter you get it. I think I have to adjust this side. Okay, I think it's fine. I don't want to mess with this that much. Might be better to do all the pins before laying the CPU down, but you might need to use brain to flatten the solder on the pads. But easier to solder the CPU if they were all tinned or get hassle next time. Yeah, I didn't order this board. This is from directly from Consoles4You. All right, let's just send it. Whatever. I'll do the sides here, I suppose. I think it should be fine. Even if it's off by a little tiny bit, it should still be okay. So let's do the sides. So I'm going to switch back to the knife edge again. Braid? Oh, the braid. That's funny. This is sort of a hard... The problem is also this Amtech, the 213 flux. I believe the 213 is less viscous than this. There's another kind of Amtech flux. So it tends to like just disappear from whatever you had it on. It's like, see you later. So that's the problem I'm having right now, is it just tends to just yeet away. So there's another number, another Amtech flux number that doesn't do that, which I need to get that stuff. I just made it worse. That's right. Okay. Yeah, it's like it has 3. It's like an interposer board. Pretty neat, actually. Cool design. 213 is your favorite. It does get more liquid, but the wettability lasts longer. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. Like if you're doing a big area, like if you're, or like a big chip or something, it tends to stay in the area a bit. I just think that the other kind, the more viscous one, is supposedly better for like drag soldering. Okay, cool. So let's do the other long side. This is the kind of board that I probably would definitely check for continuity across all the pins, like when I'm done. So we can do that. Maybe not tonight, but next time. So there's still quite a bit to do. I think we've got to flash the FPGA. I've got to clean the board sometime between now and next stream. Yeah, the other problem is not all the pins are probably level anymore. .54 pin 0.5 millimeter flat ribbon cable sockets are a pain, and this flex makes it easy. Yeah. Yep. Definitely works. Ah! Hot. Hot braid is hot. Well, I'm not making this look very good, but it's happening. I also probably want to check to make sure that all the pins are soldered down. All right, let's do this, but I can do that between now and next stream. Let's try to finish up both the sides here, and then I'm probably going to call it a night. Actually, maybe we should solder on those things. I don't know the orientation that those are supposed to be. And this little interposer thing gets hot, so I definitely would recommend some kind of a thing to hold it. Sounds like Artemis has an idea of something that would work well with this. Definitely hurts my fingers. Stick vise, yep. Are those expensive? Or not really? I'll look it up in a minute. Because even though my fingers are on the other side of this board, they're getting hurt. Not sponsored by Stick Vice, yeah. Thanks for saying that. Okay. Last side. Then I'll kind of tell you what's going to happen, or what I'm going to do. I've got to get off here in a minute. But, try to finish this up. Yeah, I probably do need more. I'm trying this. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That worked better. Okay, so it's okay if there's a big blob at the end. Cool. Alright, so this looks like garbage. That's because it's not clean. If you clean it up... Yeah. Hopefully I didn't melt any of the connectors here. I don't think so. They definitely did get kind of goopy. So I'm going to definitely clean this with some IPA, both sides pretty much. It's like all over my my bench right now. But I could do that between now and next week before next stream before I install everything. So I'm going to clean the memory too, because that's nasty. Let's just, for ha-has, actually, let's just put those EMI things in before I lose them. Are these directional at all? Like what do I have going on today? I have, this is a GameBoy Advance consolizer that is, it's sort of special because it has this connection here. So you do need to get the memory chip from a Game Boy Advance motherboard, right? So we already did that earlier. You do need a CPU, but what makes it special is you could use either a Game Boy Advance CPU or a Game Boy Advance SP CPU by using these little interposer things. And I'm not going to do it now, but the interposer thing allows you to use either CPU and kind of socket it into this board. So we just kind of got finished up with that. Coils they're just coils. Okay. So let's just do those while we're here. I'm going to switch back to my chisel tip. That should be pretty easy to do. I just don't want to lose those around my room somewhere. So those are up here, I believe. FL1 and FL2, I guess. I don't see any other pads on this board on the other side that look like that footprint, so. Okay, so let's just get some solder on there. Okay. Ah, gosh, this is hard to position. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay. Way too much solder on these, but that's all right. Ah! Okay, that's one. There's a lot of solder on these, but that's all right. Problem is these tweezers. One side has one of the ends is bent, broken off. Okay. Nice. Right. Yeah, I kind of regret buying these. I did buy these Northridge Fix tweezers. I realize now that these are you can get these on AliExpress for half of the price that I paid. I do like them, the fact that they're tiny for like little tiny surface mount things. But they just aren't really durable. And I have these other cheap ones that I got from an iFixit kit that are a little bit bigger, but as you can see, the tip broke off this one. I do have some blunt ones that have lasted a really long time, but I need to get something that's more durable. Like still small, I suppose, but you know, that's not going to break as easily as the metal. So, all right, so that's it for these two EMI things. Kind of cool looking components. I always like seeing unique components. I mean, maybe you guys are familiar. Some of you guys might be familiar with them already, but you know, it's not every day. I mean, you see these SMD kind of caps and resistors and stuff a lot, but it's not every day you get to see something like that. So I always like looking at cool new pieces, new components to solder on. All right, let me turn the light on. We'll kind of debrief. All right, so that was fun. We got further than I thought. I thought we were gonna not get very far with the shield, flashing the firmware on the shield. I hope it worked. It looked like it worked, but maybe not. We might have to reflash it, but I'm not sure. But at least we know that the Arduino thing kind of worked. It detected the microcontroller on the shield, so that's pretty good. So then we desoldered the memory and the CPU from our SP, which is pretty good, and those EMI things. And then we got all three of those things soldered, which is pretty good. Heather says the ceramic ones, besides not getting magnetic, which are great, they can take abuse and are really hard. I've tried filing them and it does nothing to them. Hey, wee thing. Just about to sign off, but that's right. All right, so what do we have left to do? I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna skip. Oh wow, there were. If I just scrolled down a little bit more on the installation thing, it would have shown the different types of possible different types of filters. I have these ones in the middle, so that's kind of cool. Oh. I guess we do need a link port, unless I have one in the. We may need to get some more things. We may need to grab some more things from the board, so that's fine. We can do that next time. There is another cart slot in the baggie of goods, but it looks like we might need to steal the link port from the SP board next time. Let's just quickly scroll. There's a micro switch. I think that should be included. And okay, so there's quite a bit of assembly that we've got to do, I think. Which it should go pretty quickly. It's just yeah. Oh, so maybe we don't have to flash the Spartan board. I thought we did. Hey, well that's cool. I'm just looking to see if I have to flash or not. I don't see a step for flashing it, so maybe it's already been done. I'll double check with Consoles4You. They've been messaging me on X, so I'll have to make sure hardboard's done. Yeah, pretty much. I'll have to make sure that it's flashed already, because if that will save a little bit of time. Can you see the chat? Yeah, I can see the chat. Dang, if I would have known you were streaming, I would have joined earlier. Yeah, you can follow me on. If you follow me on, well, you can follow me. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. It does have a notification. I normally stream every Wednesday and Sunday, so that's my stream schedule. And usually I try to have the stream planned. Like it'll show the notification that I'm going to be live later, earlier in the day, if I get the thumbnail and everything done ahead of time. But you can also follow me on Twitter. Link should be in the description. I post there too regularly right before the day of the stream. I post what I'm going to be streaming. So, sure, we think, what's up? Let me see if I can find, where is here it is. Yeah, so I'm not sure, maybe it is already flashed. What's your question, wee thing? I'm about to log off here. Yeah, sometimes even on YouTube, even if you don't have notifications on, you might not get notified of everything. That's just how the YouTube algorithm works. Unfortunately, even if you subscribe to me, that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to see notifications. It has more to do with who you've watched recently. So if you watched me recently, you may see a notification. You're more likely to see a notification. Oh yeah, okay. Well, while we're waiting for wee thing to say what they're gonna say, let's look up the stick vise. Oh damn, look at this thing. This is sick. I have a bigger sort of thing, bigger vise thing. This is good for, like, you know, medium-sized PCBs or like little motherboards, whatever. But it's not, you know, I guess I could have done the little tiny board. Wee thing. Okay, well, not sure what's happening with wee thing, but I'm gonna log off. If you have a question, you can just leave it in the comments. All right, take care, everybody. I'll see you on, what's today? Wednesday. See you on Sunday with another stream, probably this again. So take care. Bye. Yeah, this is a cool stick vise thing. That's neat. I'll have to look into that more.